This is great. Kamala Harris and her campaign are officially on the offensive, hitting Donald Trump where it hurts. At the same time, the people surrounding Trump are a little bit nervous because he's making this new scandal worse every time he opens his mouth, every time he sends JD Vance out to talk about it. I don't want to waste any of your time. Let's break down the news of today. All that I ask is that you like the video and make sure you're subscribed to the Mockler channel below. So the story starts off with a Truth Social notification. A post from Donald Trump that says, "New, Trump rips Harris for effort to politicize Arlington National Cemetery." And this is a prime example of a common theme that I will touch upon throughout this video, which is the right-wing spin machine. The way that people on Truth Social, the way that Donald Trump, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, whoever you're thinking of, the way that they spin Donald Trump's terrible actions into positive coverage somehow, it's actually quite impressive at this point. Aaron Rupar points out, Republicans have the gold medal in the shamelessness Olympics, pointing out that Republicans keep reaching new heights, or should I say new lows, when it comes to being shameless, and they can take any story, whether it's Donald Trump shooting someone on Fifth Avenue or JD Vance making fun of women who have reproductive struggles, they can take those stories and flip them, and that is something that I'll talk about throughout this video. And here's another example. Tom Cotton, who is a despicable human being, went on Meet the Press and essentially dismissed the concerns of a Gold Star family who was offended that their family's members' headstones were visible during Donald Trump's PR stunt at Arlington National Cemetery. And this is the broader theme of this video. Every single time Donald Trump talks about the Arlington National Cemetery visit, he makes it worse. He is freaking out about it on Truth Social. JD Vance called it an altercation and tried to defend the person for hitting or whatever the person that worked at Arlington National Cemetery. Now, Tom Cotton is making it worse because he essentially says, "We'll honor the wishes of anybody who agrees with us politically." Take a look.
The family of Master Sergeant Andrew Marcassano, he was a Green Beret. His family was concerned that his grave was actually shown in a photo that was posted on social media. A statement from the Marcassanos' sister, Michelle, said, quote, "We hope that those visiting this sacred site understand that these were real people who sacrificed our freedom and that they are honored and respected accordingly." Did the Trump campaign fail to honor her wishes, their wishes?
No, Kristen, they honored the wishes of the 13 families whose children died at Abbey Gate. Those families wanted the photos. They told me yesterday that they specifically asked President Trump for the photos. Obviously, headstones at Arlington are close to each other. And when you take a photo of your loved one, when you take a photo of your loved one, then other headstones are going to be present as well. Frankly, I think it's pretty disappointing that the New York Times went and found a family whose headstone was featured in that photograph of another Gold Star family, and then went to them to try to embarrass the Gold Star families who wanted President Trump.
All right, another perfect example of the spin machine that Republicans are so good at. Tom Cotton just took Donald Trump and his campaign's terrible actions, not only with assaulting a staffer, but also with making sure that headstone was in the photo, and he flipped it into Donald Trump being the victim. And essentially what he's saying is respect Gold Star families unless they're not on our side politically, unless they don't fit our narrative, which I think is even more disgusting. And I want to point out the facts of this case on Twitter. Facts. Trump visited Section 60 of the cemetery where troops are buried and a place considered hallowed ground in the military. Federal law and Pentagon policies do not allow political activities in that section of the cemetery, but videos were still taken by Mr. Trump's campaign and then used in advertisements after that. Speaking of advertisements, Vote Vets, one of the largest groups that helps mobilize veterans, released this devastating ad calling out Donald Trump following his debacle at Arlington National Cemetery. You guys have to watch this.
"We've got Trump on the run, scared. His insults about service members catching up with him. He's panicked. Losers and suckers, he called us. Confirmed. Refusing to be seen with wounded warriors because it makes him queasy. Refusing to salute the fallen of World War I because he, quote, doesn't understand what was in it for them. Because he was afraid his dye job might run in the rain faster than he ran to a quack doctor when the draft board called his number, comparing his sexploitations with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein to the sacrifice of those who went in his place to Vietnam. Now, maybe the greatest insult of all, turning a military cemetery visit into a political stunt with cameras in tow. In Section 60, one of the most hallowed acres of all, and when an Army civilian official told them they were breaking federal law that bans politics and campaign cameras, Trump thugs verbally and physically assaulted her. Disgusting. Donald Trump, the grave markers veterans and military families drop a knee to, are not your political props. They represent the heroes we served alongside, men and women you could never measure up to, friends who lived and died by the oath we all swore to uphold, something you will never understand, and why we're doing our damnedest to make sure no service member ever has to salute you as Commander-in-Chief ever again.
So that was an amazing ad, and there are a few things that I took from that. Donald Trump loves to wrap authoritarianism in the guise of patriotism. So in this case, him and his crew attacked the media while acting like they were doing some patriotic event when they were actually just taking photos. It also reminds me of when Donald Trump says that anybody who burns the American flag should be jailed because apparently the American flag is that precious. He's acting like a patriot, but he's wrapping it in this guise of authoritarianism. He wants to hurt the Constitution, rewrite the Constitution, terminate the Constitution, and make sure that the First Amendment is switched for him, which is authoritarian, and he says that it's because he loves the country. So also, it just made me realize that this is such a repeated event. Time and time again, Donald Trump disrespects our vets. It's not just something that happened one time in 2015. It's not something that happened again in 2018. It's something that happens every single time Donald Trump enters the public eye. And this tweet from Black Knight 10K on Twitter really summarizes the problem. It's a video of the incident where a Trump supporter tries to attack the press and gets pulled away. And Black Knight 10K said, attacking the press at Trump's rallies, attacking the staff at Arlington, attacking the cops at the Capitol on January 6th. At what point will the media finally tell you the truth? Trump is the problem. And again, they have a clever way of spinning everything when it comes to January 6th or Arlington. The Republicans know how to spin it, but at the end of the day, Trump is the problem. And I say this all the time on my show because it's very important. Trump only exists to sow distrust in the institutions around him, whether it's the FBI, the DOJ, our elections, our election officials, the male men and women that deliver our ballots around election time, or whether it's the guards on January 6th, or Judge Merchan's daughter. Donald Trump sows distrust so that all of the checks and balances that exist can be torn down with ease. Think about it. If people think the courts are rigged, like what is going on here at this event? I mean, there's a massive flag with Donald Trump. I shouldn't be surprised. I've been to many of these events and I've seen these crazy flags. What happened to the American flag? Why do they fly these flags? But going back to my broader point, if Donald Trump is able to successfully sow distrust within all these institutions, then he can tear them down with little resistance and say that he is the sole savior. If you agree with what I said, if you appreciate what I do, like the video, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, and have a great Sunday. Peace out.